Over the weekend, media reports that the Lakers, look at that, that's a nice car, emerged as the top threat to the Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. This after the Lakers offered Melo the max deal, while Kobe, Melo, and Kevin Love reportedly played a pickup game at UCLA. Mark Stein is reporting that today is a soft deadline for Melo to make a decision. All things fluid, as we've mentioned, with free agency. But we asked this question specifically to the Lakers. We know that there are the big agents out there. What if the Lakers wind up with nothing after free agency?
I think that would be very, very sad. These are the Lakers we're talking about here. Purple and gold, Laker Nation. Second only to the Boston Celtics is the more renowned franchise in the history of this sport. And I think that when you consider the quality GM that Mitch Kupchak has proven to be, when you consider the locale, when you consider Kobe Bryant being their star, Jeannie Buss running this organization, it's just the ultimate indictment against Jim Buss. You can't ignore Kobe because he's a star, and just like you have guys that want to go and play with a LeBron or somebody else, you got to ask the question, shouldn't people be anxious to go and play with Kobe Bryant, particularly with the money that's available because the Lakers have under their cap? But in my opinion, it really comes down to Jim Buss. And the reason why it comes down to Jim Buss is because of one reason and one reason only. If Dr. Buss were alive today and still running the Lakers organization, you can't convince me that at least one, if not two superstars would be coming to Los Angeles. You just can't convince me of that. I can't. There's no way. And so that's what this really comes down to. The Lakers are in a bad spot because the Lakers' presentation has been magnificent. Everybody's been raving about it and them. Obviously, they've got cap space. They still have Kobe Bryant. And yet and still, they can end up empty-handed. No LeBron, no Melo, no trade for Kevin Love. If they can't pull something off, I just don't know what that says, but it ain't good. Whatever it's saying, it's not good because somehow, some way, when it comes to the Lakers, historically, you always felt something would get done.
Right.
It's the Lakers.
Confidence.
Something to get done.
Sure.
Somehow, some way. They might have a down year, but something will get done. That's not how you feel right now. They don't even have a coach. And I understand their argument is, you know, we got to assemble our roster, then we'll know what coach is best suited. That's not how this usually works. It's not how this usually works. And the fact that they're deviating from the norm has Jim Buss written all over it. And it's just not a good thing. Just isn't.
Let me tell you why I'm not objective in answering this question. And Ms. Champion will be able to relate to this. I love L.A. I was just out there over our forced vacation that we were forced to take.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You were forced.
Yeah.
I was forced. I don't like vacation.
Voluntarily. It didn't bother me one bit.
Now, I will say I spent most of my time in Palm Springs, but that's a whole other issue. But I love the desert. I do too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never been.
So my point is, when I first heard, while in the desert, that there was even a remote possibility that LeBron and Carmelo could join Kobe and Gasol in Los Angeles playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm like, why not?
It makes sense.
I'm good. like I'm good to go because I can't listen. As much as I love New York, I love L.A. more.
Right.
And to me, that when I read that Carmelo has been living and training in Los Angeles and not in New York City through the summertime when New York is great in the summer.
He's been living in L.A. for years.
Okay, but I'm just saying, it was driven home to me, oh, yeah, he spends his off seasons in L.A. Well, what's not to like about this? It is still the Lakers. You can have the Clippers all you want. You were bullish all year on the Clippers. Yeah. I'm sorry. That town, at heart, still belongs to the Lakers, not the Dodgers. This is just me, and I worked there early in my career. For 3 years, I covered all those teams. It is a Laker town at heart. It is just waiting to re-explode over the newly built Los Angeles Lakers. Every criticism you have leveled at Jim Buss is valid. I buy everything you have said. It gets a little harsh every once in a while, but it's still extremely valid. I cannot discount any point you have made about Jim Buss. I do like Mitch Kupchak, and I agree. How much are his hands tied? You know, I don't know.
What can he do?
But again, would I still despite the fact that Dr. Buss is no longer with us and with them, would I still want to play for this team? Yes, I would.
So would I.
So if I'm LeBron James and Melo, if I'm LeBron right now and I have a chance to take a little less money to play in Kobe's last couple of years with Kobe Bryant and Carmelo in Los Angeles, thank you, God. No, seriously, this would be a thank you, God, for me, but I'm not objective here because I can't imagine what's not to like about that prospect.
They don't have enough max for both guys. Not
okay, well,
like
I know that. I know that, but you can still.
$15 million.
Okay, yeah, I know. Kobe did himself in with that contract or whatever, and I know it was one of those, we need to repay you for all you have done, but still. Yep. Is there a chance? Is there still a remote chance that financially you could make this worth if both guys would sacrifice greatly? Yes, there is. You know there is. Both would have to make big sacrifices. Now, Carmelo would really have to make a sacrifice.
But why sacrifice when if you're Melo, you can stay in New York and LeBron can do a one-year deal and meet you there in a year?
Maybe.
I'm saying he could choose to. He could choose to because the New York Knicks will have cap space.
Okay.
So you could choose to. You know, why do that? Okay, and you know, because you can make the money in New York and you don't have to give up what you have to give up. And you have to remember why Jim Buss is a problem. Remember, sometimes I'm harsh on Jim Buss for this reason and this reason alone. It's not because he makes mistakes. That's part of life, and we're all human. My problem with Jim Buss is that he lets his personal decision, his personal feelings get in the way of business. He has clearly done that with the Los Angeles Lakers, with the hirings he has done. And the fact that you would allow your ego to usurp Laker Nation and what your father built is criminal to me, and that is the problem.
Okay, now allow me to tack on to this, the addendum that even if those two join Kobe and Gasol in Los Angeles, you are still in the Western Conference. And even though the producers have denied my ability to talk about the Spurs today, I'm going to bring it up. They told me I can't talk about the Spurs. I'm going to say,
how dare you?
The Spurs have just re-signed not only Patty Mills, but Boris Diaw. So they should be the favorites going into next year. I think they should be prohibitive favorites, but that's just me.
That's fine, but they've never won back-to-back.
Okay, fine. But they are positioned to win back-to-back.
They were in the past to win back-to-back.
And by the way, that kid they drafted at the bottom of the first round from your school named, Kyle Anderson, remember that?
Good,
Okay, he's only the best passer in the draft and one of the better rebounders in the draft at 6'9". So you only got better everywhere. You were the deepest team now. Okay, so the problem is, even with those guys in L.A., I wouldn't make them the favorites. But again, if I am LeBron today and Carmelo today, and I have a chance, you want to talk about the Beatles, the Heatles in Miami, if they join, you don't think that would be the biggest story in the history of the NBA if those two joined Kobe Bryant for his swan song last couple of years?
That would be phenomenal.
My God.
You have me excited.
I know. I know. It gets me excited. I'm getting goosebumps.
That would be phenomenal. But again, and here's what Laker Nation needs to realize. If Dr. Buss were alive, it would probably happen.
It probably would happen.
It would probably happen.
All right, Lakers have 4 players under contract: Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Robert Sacre, and first-round pick Julius Randle. What are we going to do with Steve Nash? You
try to convince him to walk away, but Steve Nash is unapologetic. He is already on the record. He likes the money, and he's owed $9.7 million. He ain't trying to go away. So unless you can get somebody to take that contract off his books,
and they still owe Karl Malone and Peyton and those guys
you
some
remember?
money. Yes.
Remember? All right, coming up next.